Welcome to the Chamber Spotlight, a local talk show podcast brought to you by the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce in association with the local scene. We'll be recording on a regular basis, and we'll cover many topics that span local businesses, local elections, local town governance, and a citizens' academy. I'm your host, Fraser Townley, and today we're sitting down with a celebrity in town that covers most of those topics that we're going to cover, Alysha Siciliano-Perry.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Before we get into what we're going to be talking about, we recorded the town news earlier today, so we're going to cut to the town news with Andrea Cesarini.
Sounds good.
I'm at Town Hall with Andrea Cesarini. Andrea, you got some headlines for us.
Yes, I do. So there are currently no scheduled public meetings for this week. Next week, our planning board will be meeting Monday, February 9th. On Tuesday, February 10th, the Bylaw Review Committee will be meeting. The Select Board will be meeting Wednesday, February 11th. Meetings need to be scheduled within 48 hours, so check the section on the town website titled Public Meetings for the latest update. And a reminder that a majority of these meetings are broadcast on the local scene. Meetings can be rewatched on www.thelocalscene.media/Pembroke/. Some other news around town. Property tax exemptions, except the veterans exemptions, are due on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. For additional information, please contact the assessor's office at 781-293-2393. Excise tax bills were recently mailed out. They are due Thursday, February 26th with our collector's office. The Council on Aging is looking for volunteers to help shovel out senior citizens. If you are interested, please email mdonahue@townofpembrokemass.org. A reminder to please register your dog with the town clerk's office by April 1st to avoid any late fees, and please return your annual street listing or annual census by June 1st to avoid being listed as inactive on the voter registration rolls. Nomination papers for the May 2026 local election are currently available. Papers can be pulled up until Wednesday, March 25th, and must be returned by Friday, March 27th. The town clerk's office will be offering limited services this Wednesday, February 4th to Friday, February 6th, due to full-time staff being unavailable. They're attending a conference. Please see the main page of the town website for more information on services that will not be available. The town hall, town library, community center, and council on aging will be closed Monday, February 16th for President's Day. And I have to throw this in. The Patriots are going to beat the Seahawks this Sunday, 6:30 in the Super Bowl.
So, who are you supporting?
Definitely not the Seahawks.
Good. And we also got some bad news today about how long winter's going to last. I see you're asking for volunteers to help shovel out seniors, but Punxsutawney, no, what's his name?
I call him Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah, he said 6 more weeks of winter. So it's going to be we're still going to get snow and cold. So if anybody is looking for volunteer hours or they're just looking out to help out senior citizens in town, they are looking for people to help shovel out our seniors. So you can contact mdonahue@townofpembrokemass.org, or you can call the Council on Aging and get connected with some seniors that might need some help. Because that groundhog didn't do us any favors today.
He did not. That's great. Thanks a lot, Andrea.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see you next week. Okay, that was the town news. Alysha, the rest of the show is all yours. Why don't we start with some background? What's your bio?
What's my bio?
If you were put on the spot, like I'm doing right now, what would you say?
Well, I own a small business out of Pembroke. I'm a design builder, so I have my master's degree in interior design and architecture, and am a licensed general contractor, unrestricted, in the state of Massachusetts.
What are you? What is that?
An unrestricted licensed contractor.
That sounds fantastic. So how did you get that? I mean, let's do a proper bio. Let's start with, where did you grow up?
Grew up in East Bridgewater. I said when I left there, went to college, I went to Hofstra University on Long Island, New York. And I said I was never coming back to East Bridgewater. And here I am in Pembroke, and throw a rock and I could hit East Bridgewater. So I didn't really go that far.
Now, I think you and I have had this conversation before. We were at a party, a garden party, and you were telling me about being in New York.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
I learned to pronunciate my R's really quickly because they kept thinking I was talking about the bathroom when I talked about going to a party because they thought I said potty instead of party.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
But I fit in quite well there. I think being an Italian, growing up in an Italian family, Long Island's full of Italian Jewish families, and I fit right in. So I loved it there.
Mm-hmm. And there's lots of, for someone with your background, there's lots of museums and places to absorb art and to absorb creativity.
Absolutely. I used to love to go into Manhattan and see what was new on Broadway, or we could get discounted tickets through the school, and I took full advantage of being able to go and do those things, going to the Guggenheim or the MoMA. Like, I loved all of that, going to the museums all the time.
You know, I'm in MoMA. I am.
Do I want to ask?
Not a picture of me. I designed a product that was deemed to be some, I don't know, MoMA took on the product. So I'm in there as a designer.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's not that cool.
Fun fact.
It's a fun fact. It's not that cool. But anyway, so the Met, MoMA, all of those museums.
Loved doing all of that. Then found myself back in Massachusetts, not being able to figure out, my degree was design and art history. Mm-hmm. I like the architecture of it. And that's how I found my way to Boston Architectural Center. And then from there, decided that wasn't quite the right fit for me, and ended up at New England School of Art and Design at Suffolk University, where I got my master's in design, interior design and architecture. And loved it. And I love what I do. But I did get tired of being girled by contractors, where I have to bring in a general contractor to pull a permit to renovate someone's kitchen or take down a wall. And, they would little lady me. Like, can't do that, little lady. I'm like, but the building code says this. You can. I guess you can do it like that. Well, that's how we always do it. I don't really care how you always did it or how you always have done it. This is how we are going to do it now. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I found that a lot of women run the renovations for their homes. They're the ones who want the pretty kitchen and the bathroom and the additional space. The men care about heating and roofing and siding, and the wives want the interior looking beautiful. And they're being kind of bullied sometimes by their contractors and being told, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do this. This is how we've always done it. This is what we usually do. Not necessarily listening to what they're looking to do. So that's when I decided, hey, I've taken building systems. I can do that. Like, I'm on enough job sites. So dug in, got my general contractor's license in Massachusetts, which is called your construction supervisor license in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And unrestricted means that I can work on 1 and 2 families as well as commercial projects. So
I was going to come on to that. What does unrestricted mean?
It's unrestricted. I can work on anything. If you have the restricted license, you can only work on 1 and 2 family.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And so unrestricted, you can work on anything.
And getting that license, is it a harder thing to do, or is it just something you have to apply for?
You have to take a very long test. I think it's like it's been so long. I think it's 3.5 hours, the test.
Okay, so there's the test, but I mean, you've got to learn. You got to go. Do you go to school for that, or is it something that?
I knew a lot of it from when I was in grad school. But some of it is, you don't have to memorize all of the building codes. It's about knowing how to find them inside the code. But as a woman contractor, I really try to make sure I know what codes are going on in my projects, what the new codes are, because I'm a woman in a man's field. I have to know more than all of them.
I feel this is going to be a recurring theme throughout this podcast, isn't it?
It could be. But I love knowledge is power. So I always want to make sure I stayed up to date on all of the codes. But I did take a class with, he's now retired. He used to be the building inspector for Norwell. They had a 6-week class that he offered to go through all of it. And I took his class, and I passed the first time I took my CSL test.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Did most people pass? Is that the way you said that, it felt like that was a badge.
It's like the bar.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of guys that don't pass the first time or second time or third time.
Interesting.
But there's plenty of people that do pass the first time as well.
Right. Okay.
The smart ones do.
Well, of course.
And then I have to take my continuing education hours every year. And funny thing is this last year when I taken my hours, I was in a room with 45 people, and I was the only female there. And it was the Taunton building inspector teaching the class. And he was throwing out questions at the beginning. And I was the only one that was answering. And he's like, does anyone else know any of the answers?
You're the Hermione Granger.
I was. And I was trying not to be, so I was trying not to answer, but then nobody was answering. So then I would
stretch your arm up high enough.
And when we had a break, one of the guys in the class says, so how do you know so much? It's my job. Imagine that. Like you're
but how do you know so much for being a girl?
He didn't say that. He was just shocked that I knew so much. But I'm like, you're supposed to know that much.
Yeah. And so we're going to come on to it. But you've used these skills. So we're going to talk about your business in a second. But you have actually used a lot of these skills and applied them to a lot of the things you do for the town, such as the planning board. Weren't you the chair of the planning board?
I was for 2 years the chair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you're also on a committee with me, the bylaws committee, which was a very exciting meeting we had the other day. It's been publicized, you know that. You can see it online now.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is. Actually, there's a very fun part where you were talking about making people fold like deck chairs.
Oh, geez, Louise.
And I said to you, hey, you know you're being filmed. And I pointed at the camera and you looked directly in the camera and smiled and waved. I thought that was hilarious. Anyhow, but you're also on the Old Colony Planning Council as the alternate when Becky's not around. But
Correct.
We've had those two ladies, Mary Waldron and Becky Coletta. They've been on the podcast and they said some very kind things about you.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Possibly because they knew you were coming on, but I don't know. No, they're very complimentary. So you have a reputation of knowing what you know. And you're not...
Knowledge is power.
Well, absolutely. And I. So talk to me about your business. I believe, so you're a member of the chamber and we're here promoting the businesses.
Yes.
Alluring Concepts.
Yes. Alluring Concepts, design, build.
Very good. Oh, design, build.
Yes.
Okay. So what does that mean? You design and you build.
Yes. I design them and I build them.
Losing the question.
So we design anything from a built-in or bathroom renovation or a new addition to full builds. So I've designed full houses, some townhouses, working on designing a subdivision right now, and just keeping myself busy.
ADUs?
I love ADUs. Yes, lots of ADUs. We have 3 build-outs right now that we're working on. We've completed a few. I've done a lot of talks for local real estate agencies about ADUs because through Planning Board and Old Colony Planning Council, got a lot of the questions answered early for me that other people weren't getting. And I was able to get that information and bring it even back to the building department in our own town and other towns where there was a lot of unknowns because it's been a really long time since the government has said, from the state coming down and say, this is a protected use. You are going to follow this standard and make those modifications, and people wanting to know, the planning boards not knowing what they needed to do, as well as the building departments are like, well, what can we do? And then the Board of Health having to figure out what they're going to do for when they have a septic system. So there's all kinds of variables that go into it. So helping educate people on what they can and can't do for that and what their rights are, too. Because sometimes I feel like I don't see it as much in Pembroke by far, or I haven't seen it at all in Pembroke, I should say. But in other towns, sometimes people that are in positions of power tend to abuse that and say no to things. I know. Can you imagine?
Can't. Got no examples.
But I don't really see that in our building department or anything by at any means in Pembroke. So it's great to be able to be a resource for people to reach out to that are comfortable. And I speak both languages, contractor and homeowner.
Yeah.
So I can be understanding to what they're asking. And I've even done
Aren't most contractors homeowners?
Yeah, but they don't
Shouldn't
always
they have
speak
the
homeowner.
same sympathies as you have? I mean, isn't that weird?
Yeah, but I can understand people get frustrated
Yeah.
where they just want to go and do what they want to do. And, I can understand both sides, but sometimes you're so entrenched in your job. I'm sure a lot of people that are even listening, sometimes you get wrapped up in your job and you use terms that not everybody knows.
Like ADU.
Like ADU, accessory dwelling unit.
Thank
I
you.
try to stop those acronyms because they make me a little crazy. I learned that many years ago in BNI, Business Network International. We used to call it MSP, Member Success Program. People are like, what's MSP? And I'm like, for years, I didn't know what it meant. I just knew it was MSP.
Mm-hmm.
So even at Old Colony Planning Council, I'd be like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What is ROM? What is TIPS? What is SIDS?
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are talking all these acronyms, and for a layperson, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So can you explain that? Because I want to be involved, but I'm not going to learn anything or keep my attention if I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So they have, Mary especially has gone a 180 and make sure they're constantly teaching everybody what things are.
Absolutely.
Because there's people that have been around a long time, and then there's people that aren't.
Yeah.
So it's great to kind of give that information out properly.
So I'm going to come back to Alluring Designs, Concepts and Build. No, Design and Build. Because I don't think we've covered everything that the listeners and myself want to hear about. However, before I forget it, so you've just been talking about the state having the ADU law, and then you educating the towns. I was surprised. So the state made it a right, but we still had to adopt internally. Is that right? The town had to adopt the bylaw change.
Correct. So they had to modify, because most towns had some kind of in-law apartment or accessory dwelling unit, and most people did not conform to, or most towns did not conform to what the new state legislation was, where the state made it a protected use by right.
Right.
So that means like you're protected, like you have to be able to allowed to do it if you can fit within your town's bylaws. So, and they protected everyone, saying that the towns couldn't make more stringent setbacks or design review, things like that that weren't already on there for any residential home. So if somebody wanted to build a residential home, you have to sit within the setbacks, you have lot coverage, whatever is already under your town bylaws.
Yeah.
So they couldn't add new ones that were just for ADUs.
Got it.
Which was great.
So the state made it a right, but the town still had to make adjustments to their own bylaws
Correct.
to make it all work and fit and so on and so. So
because one of the items that the state did allow for the towns to put in there as an option where they could limit the use of short-term rentals, meaning anything less than 30 days is a short-term rental. So that way you wouldn't have transient people. Airbnbs.
Right.
Right. So because that's, you don't want.
And we did talk about that actually at one of our bylaw review meetings.
Correct.
How do we make sure, because there's also a law about.
The state has a law saying that you need to register as an
Correct.
Airbnb with your town. We don't have a procedure in Pembroke for registering it. So that's why I did bring that up at our bylaw review committee to try to get a way to register.
But then it got conflated with talk about the ADU, and it had nothing to do with the ADU.
No, it was just for Airbnbs. But then I think that it was a lot of change for the Board of Health as well.
Yeah.
Because where we don't have a sewer system in Pembroke,
right,
general public sewer, that for them knowing what they have to do now for ADUs is, that is a big new variable that they have to figure out on what they were doing. So us trying to add on that they would be the ones you had to register with for the Airbnb.
Yeah.
I think it was too much for them at the time, and they were also working on going digital at the same time. So I think that was a lot.
Y2K.
On the two women in the office, like a lot of things going on.
They're completely overworked.
They are.
So we've had the Board of Health on this podcast, and Lisa Cullity was going over all of the things that the Board of Health do. And I said, well, so how many people on the Board of Health? 1. What? 1.
Right, and an admin.
Yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, this is your show. So let's go back to Alluring, concept, build, and design. Design build. What's your favorite role? What's your favorite when someone comes in and says, I want a new bathroom, I want a new kitchen, I want a new this? What's
my favorite thing? All of it. I know that's hard to say.
Well, no, you have a speciality, I'm sure, but
space planning is my definite. What does my assistant call me? She calls me a wizard. She doesn't know how I come up with space sometimes.
Oh.
I've been called a brainworm before because I listen to people and what they're asking for. And sometimes people are asking for one thing, but I think they're really meaning something else. And I love to be able to show them that and not push that agenda on them.
Okay.
But try to look at how they're living in a space and what it is they're really asking for and what they need. Sometimes in a bathroom, those are pretty basic, right? Sometimes it's just they need a refresh.
Yeah.
Rip it out and put a new one in, get rid of the tub, put in a shower, whatever it may be, versus when they need a floor plan reconfiguration to make things flow better and it changes the way they live.
Right.
Those are the ones that really
So you do have
get me jazzed.
some favorites. Right. Okay.
Space planning, traffic flow. I grew up in the restaurant business, so everything was about traffic. You go in one door, you come out the other. You go this way, nothing in your way, the traffic pattern. Because otherwise food trays are going on the floor. My dad's going to be screaming in the kitchen because he's recooking food. It's never going to be pretty.
So he was a chef?
Yes.
He had a restaurant?
Yes.
See, I asked you about your I asked you about your background.
Sometimes I forget.
Was it an Italian restaurant?
Of course.
Very good.
Yes. So we had Sicilianos. Actually, my grandfather opened the first restaurant when my dad was in Vietnam in the Navy, Genova Cafe in Brockton.
Uh-huh.
And then there became Sicilianos, which was in Kmart Plaza in Brockton.
Right.
And then became Wally's Ristorante. We're up at the Westgate Mall in Brockton. Sicilianos, Pronto Cucina, Guido O'Shea's.
What was their speciality?
Takeout.
No, come on. What was the speciality, the meal? I mean, whenever I go to a new restaurant, what's your speciality? I'll order that.
Oh my gosh, my dad's menu was so big. It was kind of, I always joke it like a Goomba restaurant. It just goes on and on. Like anything, every kind of pasta, gnocchi, chicken parm, veal parm.
What was your favorite? When you went there, what was your comfort food? What was like, I'm going to have a bowl of that or a plate of this?
Pasta fagioli, for sure.
I said bowl for a reason.
Pasta fagioli for sure. I would kill for my dad's pasta fagioli right now.
Okay.
I could probably just have a bowl of tomato sauce and and a piece of bread for sure.
Uh-huh. Garlic bread?
No, just plain's fine.
Oh, nice.
I love garlic bread too, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I don't know if I can even taste garlic anymore. I eat so much of it that people will be like, oh, that's spicy. I'm like, what spice? I don't taste anything.
It's good for your heart.
But when I was a kid, I was addicted to meatballs and French fries.
That'll do.
Yeah.
Okay.
No need for bread, just the meatballs and lots of sauce.
Okay.
So,
I'm taking you down memory lane. I can see it. You're getting all wistful.
And marsala, for sure. My dad's marsala was delicious.
Is that Italian?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I thinking marsala is Indian?
I don't know. But it's Italian.
I'm going to Google it after this. Okay. Very good. Very good. So let's move on. Planning board.
Yes.
So your role on the planning board. I know you're not president. No, what is it? Chair. You're not
right now.
Chair
I'm the vice chair.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Andy's the chair right now. I was glad. I did 2 years as chair, and I needed a little bit of a break after 2 years. So being the vice chair was good. But
being on the board is a 5-year term, isn't it?
It is. Yes.
You talked about that the other day.
Yes.
That seems like is that long enough or too long? When I say long enough, I always find these 2-year and 3-year are too short. You've just got going by the time you've just understood what the role is, and then you have to give it up. So I don't like the 2-year, but is 5 years too long, or is that just about right?
I think 5 years is just about right.
Yeah.
Because I think you're right. It takes that year or two to understand where everything's going, understanding the open meeting laws, how to run the meet, like all of the different close this, close that. I'm so silly sometimes, I find, but I go along with it. The closing and opening, the hearings and public comment, figuring all of that, knowing what the zoning, knowing the changes, knowing where we're going. I think 5 years is a great length, and I think I know I'm on my second term now.
Oh, okay.
I was reelected last year. Was it 25?
I think it was last year. I seem to remember you being on the ballot.
Sorry. I've been so busy that I have lost time.
Don't worry.
Or it's the age.
No one's judging you.
So
you're not campaigning. You're not in an election. Don't worry about it.
I have plenty of time.
How's that going, by the way? You've got an election coming up in your household.
I do have an election, but that's not till May.
Well, that's true.
He just kicked off his campaign.
Yeah.
Chris
How did
Perry
that go?
for select board.
Are you allowed to promote like that so
I don't know.
brazen and openly?
You just brought him up, so I'm just, opening the door. We had a great fundraiser the other night, our meet and greet. We had at town. He had a great turnout. Some great people came and got some nice donations.
I actually saw a picture of him with Kathy Lenatra and Ken Sweezy. That's a great result to have those two.
Yes,
showing
and
up. I know they're not endorsing necessarily.
What's her name came as well.
Lisa.
But I can't think of her name. But yeah, Ken and Kathy were both
Lisa.
there. Yeah, I can't think of her last name off the top of my head right now. I'm going to get email texts.
Maybe I can. There's a lot of Lisas.
She does something. I don't know. I'm not involved in the politics, so I never know. So I'm sorry, Lisa. If you're listening, I apologize. I can't think of her last name. She's from Plymouth. But she does something with the Republican Party.
We can probably Google that afterwards as well. Republican Party, Plymouth, Lisa. That'll do. That's enough clues.
But I don't tend to get involved in politics. I'm a strong independent.
So let's bring it back. You're in your second term. Will you run for a third?
Well, I have 4 years to decide.
That's okay. Fair enough.
I wasn't.
What a politician. You're not answering any of my questions. That's fantastic.
I probably will because I do really enjoy it. I look at it, it's my way of giving back to my community. Mm-hmm. For years, I was trying to find a charity that I could dig into and feel entrenched in. And I just couldn't find something where I felt like I fit necessarily. And that's why originally, I think I left a hall planning board meeting and I was like, these people, ugh. I was like, they asked the dumbest questions. How was that even relevant? Yeah. I'm like, this is what I should do. I should run for planning board for Pembroke. And that's what set me into running originally, it was my way to give back to my community and have the actual knowledge to sit behind the table and give advice and direct. Sometimes I feel that boards, people don't know what they're talking about or what they're asking for. You just ask somebody to spend $50,000 to $80,000 for a study that's going to mean nothing. Or, here, run this exercise. It's only going to cost you $85,000.
No, I know. And you know what surprises me? At town meeting, we need $300,000 for the library. Tick, yeah, no problem, voted in. We need $6,000 for a gutter on a historic building. Oh, no, let's debate that. It's just the weirdest thing gets debated and the biggest thing gets slipped through.
Right. Well, I wish more people would come to town meeting.
Me too.
Because the same 200 people are voting and making the choices for 18,000 people.
Well,
yes.
I totally. Alysha, had you been listening to the podcasts, you're number 27. The 26 previous ones, we bring this up all the time. We talk about the fact that so few people are making decisions and they affect everything you complain about. Oh, I don't like the potholes. Oh, I don't like the school. I don't like this. I don't like everything. Everything that you talk about on your daily basis, you can control. Because you're the one that's voting on it.
Absolutely.
All the big ticket stuff, we come out for the national elections, but we don't come out for the local elections, and it's crazy.
Right.
But what I did learn is the last town meeting that we were all at, I believe everyone voted for Votech and then got up and walked out.
Yes.
Now, there is a recall. If you fall beneath the quorum, you can carry on going. Did you know that? So you have to have a quorum for anything to be valid.
Correct.
But if you fall beneath that quorum because the hot ticket item's been done and everybody walks out, the meeting can keep going. It requires somebody to say, Mr. Moderator, do we have a quorum? If no one does that, it can keep going. That's one thing. The other thing that's critical to that is if after everybody's walked out, you can say, can we have a recount, please? You have to have a recount. So you can win, walk out, and wake up the next morning and find you haven't won.
I know. It's too bad that people just don't stay.
No.
There's a couple, this time it was towards the end when they had the social Votech vote, thankfully. Because if that had been in the beginning and they'd left, that would have been very disappointing. Because half the room left.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even looking. I mean, just the noise of it all. I mean, when you're sat at the front, were you at the front this year? I can't remember.
We didn't, as planning board, we didn't have any items on the warrant, so I was sitting in the front row, but I wasn't at the tables this year.
Right, but you were
We usually
aware.
are, yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. So your role on the planning board, you're in your second term, you've been the chair. How many years were you on the board before you were chair? 2 or 3?
2.
Cool.
Yes. So it's not for 5 years, so it was 2 years. I wasn't, then 2 years I was the chair. Now 2 years, I'm on my second year as the vice chair.
Did you push for that? Or
did I push for it?
To be the chair, or did it come to you?
But he just said, I nominate Alysha to be the chair. I was like, wait, what? And somebody goes, I second it. All in favor? Aye. I was like, wait, what just happened here?
So that must have been flattering, but at the same time daunting.
I was a little nervous at first, and then I was, I like to make jokes. So in PAC TV or local scene now, I'd always make jokes for our adoring fans at home. We got to make sure you speak into the microphone, and so everyone can hear you at home, and make jokes of all of our fans at home. Not that I don't think anyone watches us, but you never know. On occasion, when something juicy's up, I'm sure.
Yes,
like the country club project.
Right. So you just got to make every meeting juicy. That's all. So you took that and parlayed that into the Old Colony planning, or how did you come about being on that?
So they wanted to appoint someone from planning board. They have someone from select board was on it at the time, which was Becky Coletta, and then they want. I think Dan Taylor had been doing it for a year or so. And hadn't really attended the meetings. And so they needed somebody to do so. And they said, Alysha, will you do? And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I can check it out. And I'm really glad I did, because it's been a great learning experience.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot, and I definitely see the benefits of what it can do for the town. And I've really spent a lot of time, usually before we have our annual meeting, I like to pop through some of the departments at the town hall, ask, does anybody have anything I should bring up or ask around about, while I have all the different people there at OCPC. Because when we're actually in their building, the people that are quiet and not on the Zooms and stuff once a month, it's a nice opportunity for me to be like, hey, can I pick your brain on this one real quick? Or what are your thoughts on this? Or, hey, could you get me more information on something? So I have no problem popping in and asking, hey, do you have any questions you want me to ask today?
So why don't you, now we've had Mary Waldron, who's the CEO.
She
the
is
colony.
The boss.
She is definitely the boss. I know
she's
that.
She's the boss.
Yeah.
She is the glue that holds that family together.
I believe that. And there's 27 staff, and then there's 17 member towns. And so Becky, she's the chair, isn't she?
Yes, she is the chair.
Right. And so So we've had a podcast with the two of them, and it was very informative. But if you didn't hear that podcast, people may be wondering, well, what is OCPC? Old Colony Planning Council. So why don't you briefly explain what it is and what it does?
So Old Colony Planning Council is a regional board. So there's 17 towns in it and 2 people from each town, one delegate alternate, and then the staff members that work within OCPC. They're the ones who really do all the work, where all the state programs run through there. Mm-hmm. So all of the grant programs, like water, the aging, there's all kinds of programs. So there what is it? I know it's AAA, but I'm trying to think of what the letters are since I spoke about not using the acronyms, and now I can't think of it. But there's so many great programs that go through there.
And there's roads as well.
Roads, right now there's a regional water study going on. They help towns do so much. It's amazing what they can do. Right now they're helping Pembroke with...
But you're not like a group of annoying volunteers that try and be busybodies in town. I mean, it's actually got a state-mandated role.
Correct.
Right.
So then there's MPCO, which is the Metropolitan, which does like over 100 towns.
Right.
We did a joint breakfast with them last year. It was great to see some of the other people, but it's not just a bunch of busybodies. So once or twice a year, we get together with state legislators as well. So congressmen, senators, state reps are all there, go over some of their projects, what's going on. It's a great opportunity to ask them questions. If we have questions for the town, it's a great opportunity where they're just there to help us and knowing who to ask. And it's a great organization that sometimes I think we underutilize, but I've been a little pushy about it and trying to get us to utilize them more. So they are helping us with our new housing production plan because we have to turn that into the state every 5 years. So OCPC is right now helped us get the grant to fund the money to make the plan, to make that plan. They help towns do their master plan. We did not use them for Pembroke to do our master plan last year, but they do offer that service as well. They help us fill out grant applications. There's so much that they can do to help us. Economic development. There's also some studies going on right now where if anybody that's listening wants to help contribute to it, if you go to their website, ocpc.org, I believe it is. But if you Google...
I think it's quite a mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
The Old Colony Planning Council.org. It's a long...
Yeah, I think you can get
Mary's
it to
business card's about a foot wide.
It's really long. But there's always new studies on there that you can answer questions to. Right now, there's a study for Route 53 and 139, the corridor study, to deal with coming on and off the highway up by where the Christmas tree shop was. So,
yeah.
Because that's a dangerous intersection. Yeah. They also do things in transportation. I was on a webinar a little over a year and a half ago, where the state runs through programs of seeing where there's been fatalities on the road for pedestrians and such, where they need to add sidewalks or need to add a light and things like that. And I get a little pushy because there's some places that haven't had a fatality, and why do we have to wait till there's a fatality?
Yeah, I agree with that. I know a couple of intersections in town that...
The one that scares me the most is going on Route 14, coming out of the center of town, from the Rotary to the Mattakeesit baseball fields. There's no sidewalk. And kids ride their bikes around that blind curve.
Yeah.
And it's scary. Somebody looks at their text, that kid is dead. Because they're coming fast.
And there's way too much looking at texts.
Yes. And there's no crosswalks up there or anything. And you have a ball field with basketball courts and play stuff. Like that's a place where kids want to go, and we don't have a sidewalk to go there. So I keep trying to push to get a sidewalk from the Rotary there, because there's sidewalks from the Rotary to the center of town.
Yeah.
But then they stop.
Yeah.
So there's all those neighborhoods going up the street there. Where those kids now
At
can't
least
go from
make
that rotary.
it to the ballpark.
At least to the ballpark.
Yeah, no, I think that's very smart.
Because of that blind curve.
And so what I'm hearing is the Old Colony Planning Council, none of it's mandatory. We get out of what we put in.
Correct.
If we ask for it, we get, well, you don't necessarily always get it, but we have to ask for it. We have to advocate. We have to self-advocate as a town.
Yes.
And I actually can't think of two better people to have on our side as you and Becky Coletta.
Thank you.
When it comes to advocating for the town and beating the men up.
I like doing that.
Yeah,
kind of fun.
I get that sense, actually. I'm feeling this desk should be wider, in fact.
No need to be afraid, Fraser. I won't hurt you. I won't bite. Another thing for business owners that's great about Old Colony Planning Council, they came out with, they call it Red At. So there's a page on their website where it has all the demographics and stuff for each town in the region for the 17 towns. So you can break it down by the region, by the town. You can look at the population, what age demographic we have going on in the town, which is kind of eye-opening if you look at it and you look at our school-age kids and how the numbers keep going down. Mm-hmm. There's also on their website...
That's why we need more affordable housing. And I don't mean, for anyone listening, I don't mean affordable 40B and stuff like that, but housing that we can afford.
Right. Well,
housing that young families can afford.
I believe because of they base the affordable income off of what the medium for the town is. Income, and right now I believe like a one-bedroom apartment is still like for an affordable unit is like $2,200.
I know. It's ridiculous. So just
put that's more than my mortgage.
Yes, same here.
So when people hear affordable, they get and there's no need to, because and all of the 40Bs that I understand it's changed, but they had all planned to be 55 and over. Mm-hmm. And you know why it's 55 and over? Come on. Smaller septic.
Thank you.
Smaller septic.
So it's cheaper to build.
75 gallons per day rather than 150 per bedroom.
Why do I shower less once I get over 55? What is that all about?
You sit on the couch and don't move around as much?
I don't know, but I mean, this is how, if you're not paying attention to some of the rules, this is why things get circumvented. And then we'll sit back and we'll go, why are we all over 50 or 55? Well, it's because we're cheap, or we've been cheap, or somebody's been cheap with the rules, or whatever it is. I don't know.
Well, the cost of building is so expensive, and I feel that most people...
Why? Why is it so expensive?
Materials.
But why have the materials gone up all of a sudden?
Our minimum wage. I have to pay my high school co-ops make $18.
Is that the new minimum wage? I thought it was $16.50.
It's $16.50.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But they're not going to be greeters at Walmart or being a cashier. Like, they have to have some skill.
Yeah, but that doesn't
so I want them to make a little bit more than maybe what their friend could make if they go work at Cumberland Farms.
Okay, but it doesn't explain why the 2x4s used to be $2 and are now $8 or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Right. And then in construction, we get hammered with workman's comp and liability insurance. It's the rate of that insurance is ridiculous, but guys more likely to fall or get hurt doing construction. So from a business owner standpoint, our liability is outrageous. Everyone thinks that we're crooks. I'm not. I'm sure there are some out there, but it is so hard. And there are people out there that, they cut corners, and then there's people that aren't. So the people that don't, other people are going to look at it, well, that's so expensive. Mm-hmm. But it's the materials are expensive. Period. And nobody wants to think, oh, why should I have to pay for the time for you to set up and break down your tools and things like that? Well, that comes into the overall cost of the job.
That's important. It has to be. I get it.
Or cleaning it up, or being able, we give a warranty on work that's completed. So all of that, we have to make sure we're covering ourselves, and there's so much variables in renovations.
You've moved the conversation back to alluring concepts.
Sorry, to me, they all kind of mingle all together.
Design, build.
Well,
Have I got that name right? I haven't.
I think you did it right that time.
Thank you.
But it all comes back, it's full circle. Because when I'm at Old Colony Planning Council, I listened to one of our senators last year talk about two of his hot points right now, what he's really fighting for. And one was energy and how the state wants to be fossil fuel free by 2050.
Never happen.
Never going to happen. Hope to God.
It can't happen. Yeah, how can you be fossil for it can't happen.
Right.
I'm
Or net zero is how they look at it. So meaning that we balance out our carbon footprint. So we're not necessarily all fossil fuel, but what our renewables is higher. So they balance each other out and make ourselves zero carbon emissions. But
just out of curiosity.
yes.
Okay, let's get really controversial here. So carbon dioxide.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to cut down on.
Yes.
Okay. So do you know what percentage of carbon dioxide is in our atmosphere?
I do not.
Okay. Do you think if you asked the average person what it was, they would be able to answer that question?
No.
Okay. If I told you it was 0.4%, would you be surprised?
No.
But it is. It's 0.4%
Makes sense.
is carbon. And so if we double, we're at 0.6. No, we're at 0.8. I was thinking
Nice
of
math.
Well, okay. In my defense, I was thinking of 50% increase.
Mm-hmm.
So if we had a 50% increase in the carbon in the and I know what's happening. I know what's going to happen now. People are going to accuse me of being one way or the other. I'm just trying to share facts. The facts are it's 0.4%. Yes, there is an impact on. I'm not trying to deny there is an impact.
Mm-hmm.
We are impacting. But I just don't know how we can be this net zero in that time.
No.
These are not the opinions of the Chamber of Commerce
Or me. or Alysha.
or Alluring Concepts
But
Design and Build.
my point of it was.
Or we really ought to, or Chris Perry, who's running for select board.
You plugged him that time.
Well, no, I want to make sure
Yes,
these aren't the opinions
correct.
of these.
But the senator who was saying, he was talking about, renewable energy and that being a big thing he's pushing for. And then his next thing was housing and the cost of construction and housing and getting the price down.
Yeah.
Well, with our energy laws right now, there's not a chance in heck that that's ever going to come down.
No.
Because our energy, we have gone up so much that I have to use spray foam insulation and everything. And
That's a good thing.
but do you know the cost?
Yeah, it's huge.
So,
It's $1,000 just to get the van out there.
but the difference is bad insulation, your pink fluffy stuff, is a couple cents a square inch or a square foot by 1 inch thick.
Yeah.
1 inch thick square foot of closed cell insulation, spray insulation. The closed cell is the one that has the vapor barrier, better for you to use,
Yeah.
is $1.17. So when you have to fill a 5-inch cavity, it's the same price as your hardwood floors.
Yep.
Period. So it's also hurting us on our homeowners insurance, and people don't even know that. Because that's why homeowners insurance companies are pulling out of Massachusetts, as well as they are writing people about their roofs. So they really hit the elderly a lot, which bugs me to.
Who, the insurance companies are writing you
because
on
they
your
send
roofs?
drones over houses now. And they say, you have too many trees. Either cut down your trees or you need a new roof. Your roof is or we're going to cancel your insurance.
Oh.
I've had so many elderly come to me and they're in a panic because they don't have the money set aside for a new roof because I put the roof on 15 years ago. They said it was a 30-year roof. Yeah, it's a 30-year roof. But insurance companies, there's one insurance company out there that won't write homeowners insurance for anyone with a roof over 7 years old. 7. Even though the shingles could be 50-year shingles. Because Certainty'd make shingles a 50-year warranty.
There's a lot of people that are not going to have home insurance in that case.
Yeah. And so it's happening more and more. People have to cut back their trees, and then people are mad about them.
So if you were insured with that company, you would have to change your roof every 7 years.
I don't know that one, but If it was new insurance, they wouldn't take you if your roof is over 7 years.
Okay. So what happened to pre-existing conditions with insurance? That obviously doesn't count.
No, because your roof is your first line of defense for what's inside. Because if your roof collapses or you get water damage because you end with a leak or shingle blows off or whatever, now that water damage goes through your house. Now, if it caused more than 50, or a tree falls on it, same thing. Now they have to bring your house up to code. Now they have to put that spray foam insulation. So your house that was built in the 60s with 2x4 walls with R13 in it, now they need to get that to R30 in the walls.
Okay.
So it starts a snowball effect of where that money, where's it going to come? So now they're raising insurance costs are coming up because we're trying to have better energy costs. Mm-hmm. And the sad part is the people that are living on a fixed income, those are the ones that it's affecting the most because they can't afford.
I'm not sure I could afford it.
Right. And they can't afford that to go up anymore. They're on that fixed income, nor could they afford to put that additional insulation in, so they're saving every penny. And it's just really sad because where are they going to get that money to do that roof?
Seems like you're at the sharp end, both professionally and in your volunteer work for the town.
Yes. So I'm always advocating to try to find a better balance. We can't go all in and we can't shortfall it either.
But isn't that always the problem?
Yes.
We knee-jerk react, and then we wake up the next day and go, oh.
Well, I feel like our society, too, if you said something about against renewable energy, how dare you?
Oh, I know.
You're a horrible person.
I know.
It's just, I think that we just haven't found the right answers to everything yet and that we need to find somewhere in the middle. And I think the state had some great ideas on some items, but they pushed it too far, like for mini splits and heat pumps and offering these programs where basically you're getting them free, where people were getting $7,000, $8,000 back for putting one in their home. And now they've changed like what the Freon is, different parts. So now those have changed. You can't get parts for those. So people are replacing whole systems. So people didn't save anything. And the most of the people that did it were the wealthier people that didn't need that $7,000 rebate. And then that $7,000 that came from Mass Save, now everybody's getting hit on their utility bills, on those nice infrastructure, and maintenance that you see on your bill that's more than what you actually use for electricity or gas.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Sorry, it can be controversial over here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. The more controversial, the more hits we get.
Okay.
I'm not encouraging you, though. So we've done your background. We talked about your company. We talked about OCPC. Gotta get it right.
OCPC.
Yeah, don't ask me to pronounce your name. OCPC, Planning Board. I've got a feeling you have some fun facts for us. Either some funny stories about planning board applications or... Don't give us sad stories. Let's end on a high.
On a high note?
Well, you know what? Before we even come close to ending, was there anything we don't have, yes, we're well over time, but is there anything you wanted to say? Did you come here with, I must say this, or I've got to get that message out?
Not really. I think we
did everything.
We did everything. I can't think of one thing that, my biggest message is come to town meeting.
Oh.
And to go on OCPC and take some of the surveys to help the studies that are for our community and to help us get money from the state.
And to vote for your husband.
No, that's town election. I said town meeting.
I promise not to edit that. Well, that's been terrific. So I am going to say we're at time. I want to thank our guests. What a stupid script. I want to thank Alysha for participating and to thank the listeners for tuning in. This podcast will be available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube with additional links on our Facebook page. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce. And if you're interested in becoming a member of the Chamber, please go to the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce website, pembrokechamber.org. Alysha, this has been fun. I've learned a lot, and I appreciate you spending time with us today.
Thanks for having me, Fraser.
Our pleasure.